What's up, guys? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and ignore the mess in the background. I'm doing renovations, but I went to get the mail today. Turns out I had a package waiting for me. So, we're going to get into an unboxing of an entire brick of Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage minis. As a reference, here's a standard size mini. Here's the size of the box. So, if you want to see what are inside these, stay tuned. Hey folks, so unfortunately, I started using an Elgato Cam Link to try to get some high quality video of this mini unboxing for you. But it turns out that I didn't realize that the Cam Link was also using the microphone in the camera to capture all the audio. So it has a double echo. There's no way for me to remove it. And it sounds awful, and I don't want to subject you guys to that. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to have the unboxing video kind of cut together of the actual video, and I'll just talk over it. And that's just going to have to be what it is, because I can't... there's just no way, and it just sounds... It's grating to hear two audio sources, and they're slightly off sync. So you hear it twice. So I'll be fixed for when I do the unboxing for the case incentive, but this is all I got for right now. All right, so again, here I am talking over everything. I say at the beginning, and just give you guys a heads up, that I got smart and I cut out all the plastic and all that, but you're not actually gonna have to worry about any of that because I'm talking over all of that. So one thing that was pretty cool that they added in to all of these are, if you're familiar with Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, the idle clicker game by, who's this by? I think it's Codename, I want to say. Either way, they included the Idle Champions. There's codes in each one of the boxes for these. A unique code, and you get an exclusive golden epic card, 5 gear-filled chests, and 1 million gold. So if you buy a brick, that's 8 of those. So that's pretty cool. And I also say that, again, as with a lot of these, I don't do a lot of research ahead of time to see what is contained within the box. So I can see usually what's on the outside of the box. Things like a Death Tyrant, Minotaur Skeleton, Alistair Blackcloak. And the two ones that I really ultimately want out of this set are the Behir and the Death Tyrant. Those are my two kind of unicorn minis that I would love to get out of this box. So right now, I'm going in and I'm opening up the first box. So we'll see what I get. I think I remember what comes out of this box, so we'll see. Alright, so first up, in the first box, and again, if you're unfamiliar, all of these boxes come with one big mini and 3 small minis, but the big mini that I got in here was a Froghemoth. And this is one of my favorite newer edition monsters that was added to the game later on. They made their appearance in Tomb of Annihilation as well, very fitting Chultan monster. But one thing I wanted to draw you guys' attention to in this mini is there is a little splotch of black paint on the tongue, but it's very nicely textured, and you can see me pointing and gesturing to that right now. And while I didn't actually need a Froghemoth, because I have the Gale Force 9 kind of higher-end model that you put together and you paint for yourself, I think it's a fantastic mini, and it was a great way to start this whole adventure here. So next up was an Intellect Devourer. And what I thought was strange was, one, I mean, the mini is so small, like, it's hard to get any kind of detail on it. But what I thought was strange is I have at least 2 Intellect Devourer minis that I got in 5e Wizkids sets. So I don't know if the thought was they just needed to re-release existing ones, or they forgot. I don't know. I'll ask the people from Wizkids and I'll let you guys know. Next up was, this is a specific Paladin, I believe. I don't know if I show the name on the bottom here. But I want to say, let me go find out. So this was a human paladin of the Oath of Vengeance. Interesting sculpt, has like a weird sideburn thing, or maybe a scar, or just a splotch of black paint that they didn't clean off the face. But I do like there's a splash of color, the purple cloak, and I do like that actually a lot of the, what I would call them like generic hero or NPC characters, minis that they added in here, they all do have a little bit of an increase on the quality on the metallics and kind of like little trim pieces are painted gold, for instance, on this person. But they kind of gave them all a splash of color, right? So this paladin has a purple cloak, and you'll see in some of the later ones that like fairly standard looking, but they went ahead and added in like a specific color cloak or some piece to the mini that gives them a little more uniqueness, and I actually really like that a lot. And the last one in this box is a thug, right? So this is the NPC from the back of the I think it's the back of the monster manual. So they have like a weird skull cap thing, and I think the thug in the monster manual actually has a winged snake, so it'll lead you more to think Zentarum. But for instance, this guy has a yellow cloak, so they kind of gave him a unique splash of color as well. And he does actually have a decent amount of little intricacies on like leg, like thigh armor as well. And he's got some angry looking eyebrows. Alright, so we're diving into the second box right now. Alright, so this one is a weird mini. This one's called Scaladar. C-A-L-A... Yeah, I think I'll show the bottom, but S-C-A-L-A-D-A-R. And he basically looks like same almost design, actually a huge size mini, but basically a metallic scorpion with lightning forks coming out of the stinger. It looks amazing. It's got to be something specific to Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I'm guessing, because there's a couple of like NPC minis usually in every module, or in every series of minis. But it didn't show up in D&D Beyond listed as a specific unique monster. And what I'm looking at now is a Revenant. So it kind of has a very vampire look to it. I think it's supposed to be similar to the Revenant in the monster manual. He's holding a noose in one hand, which is kind of, I guess, symbolic. And he even has like a little bit of a maroon cloak. So while he does have kind of generic vampire attire, he could be a an NPC or a player, or a substitute vampire if you need one. So that was not my favorite sculpt, I'll be honest. And lastly here is the flying sword out of this box. So this is designed to be the animated object that is one of the enemies, because there's like I think there's the broom, or no, I'm sorry, there was an animated flying sword that they made a broom for Curse of Strahd, and I think the Rug of Smothering also falls under a animated object. So that was the flying sword there, but you could also potentially use it to represent a spiritual weapon or a dancing sword, as well, so has multiple uses. And I guess another one in here was Desmere Shadow Dusk. He looks like a generic paladin, all metal, has this little bit of a red spot on the top of his head. I got a Zombie Beholder mini. I didn't even know that was going to be in here, and I think that this is... It's definitely, especially at this point in the video, one of, and it still may even be one of my favorite minis in here. It takes me a little bit to get it in focus, but the sculpt is fantastic. The milky eyes that they kind of gave this thing to represent it being a zombie, I think really look good. There are a lot of cool looking spikes, and again, every beholder is unique in and of itself, and this one has some cool, like it's got like almost like a beard of spikes, and just kind of this nasty desiccated flesh looking thing going on, and I super dig it. This is I don't use beholders too often in my games, but zombie beholders aren't nearly as deadly, and they do make a good scary choice to throw at your players, so having a mini for it. And I'd actually love to get multiples. This is a rare time where I'd like to get multiples of the large minis contained within these bricks, because that would be that would help a lot. This is a gray slime. This is probably the least effort put into any mini. And I'm sorry, a gray ooze. And this is a waste of space. Like, this is a stupid mini. It's like, you could make this yourself with hot glue and paint, or hot glue and even a marker, or just black or gray hot glue. That's the least effort in a mini ever goes to the gray ooze from Wizkids. Next up is a female Berserker. This is, again, similar in the vein of the Thug that we received earlier. The Berserker that's contained in the back of the monster manual. So this is an NPC, and this is there's a female version of that NPC, and there may even be art for that in the back of the monster manual. I don't recall. So we're moving on to the next box here, and in this one, I think this is one that I'm not a huge fan of, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I lied completely. This is an adult Remoraz. So I do have I think a young Remoraz was in one of the earlier sets. It might have been the Monster Menagerie, or it might have even been the first Tyranny of Dragons set. And this is the adult one, so it's clearly bigger and a little more formidable looking. Also, I guess I should point out here that I like that Wizkids kind of went back to including the huge size minis in their boxes. Similar, like they did that definitely starting in Storm King's Thunder. You have a bigger box overall. You got to house these large minis, but the bases are bigger, and you have kind of things that are more accurately represented. And they obviously have done that in the past, right, where they've gone back and updated, like for all the giants, right? There were giants, for those of you who don't know, in the original set, and then the Storm King's Thunder set, they made the giants actually to scale. And this next is a Gnome Inquisitive. So the Inquisitive is a rogue subtype, or subclass type rather, included in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. So it's sort of a Sherlock Holmesian type character, and this is a gnome, I guess a standard, hero or NPC. Has a little magnifying glass. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a stick, a walking stick, or a rifle, or some sort of thing in the other hand, but whatever it is doesn't really come across. So hard to tell. I do also want to apologize for the green kind of targeting reticle, as it were, for the camera. I did not know that going in. Next up here is a Trestle. So Trestle is a kind of a winged cat creature. It's a beast. It's found in the back of Storm King's Thunder, and it makes its appearance and probably is most used to be a familiar for people. There is actually, I think, one of the functions in Storm King's Thunder allows you, kind of one of the first missions, to get a Trestle familiar if you want it. And lastly in here is a Piercer. So a Roper is the kind of advanced form of a Piercer. It sort of takes the appearance of a stalactite and drops from the ceiling on people. I don't think there's a Roper in this, but I think there was a Roper in previous sets. So this, now we have Piercers, and I do like the kind of give it the little transparent stand to hang off of to, give it that illusion of dropping down from the ceiling. Although chances are if you're encountering it, it's probably already on the floor. So this one, this I got the Garistro. So I don't really use a lot of fiends, particularly in my games. Not that I have anything against them. And I mean, I'm not saying I haven't, but I'd say really after playing Out of the Abyss, I'm kind of fiended out for a bit. But this is a really solid sculpted mini here. I mean, you can see as I'm looking at it right here, like it's got the two nose rings. He's got these little like spiked bracelet style horn little rings. He's got upper bicep rings. He's got these gauntlets, these bracers rather, that are kind of engraved. And two of his fingers on each hand, or one of his fingers on each hand has two gold rings. You can see kind of the hair and the spikes going down the back. His Garistro butt, which is tight and defined, I guess, and his hooved feet. And again, you can see it compared to some of the other minis just in the background. It is a very large vertical mini, so it does give that gravity when you drop that on the table against your players. So I do like that. All right, next up is a grung. Right, a grung is another frog-like race. So this is a grung elite warrior, contained in, again, Tomb of Annihilation. They're found in there, but they are also part of Volo's Guide to Monsters. So basically, if a bullywug is your bullfrog, standard, North, I'm going to call them North American, but that may be a wrong naming, but frog, these are sort of the poison tree frog variant of a bullywug, if you will, and they come in 3 varieties. I also got here a Berserker again. This is the same, using the same stat block, the same NPC as the female Berserker I got earlier, but this is just the male version. Again, I have both. It works good as an enemy, also works good as a backup player mini if you need it and you don't want to custom paint one or something like that. This is a Grave Cleric, and this is actually the same model as the art for the Grave Cleric contained within Xanathar's Guide to Everything. So he's kind of got a smug look on his face, wielding a spear, and I don't remember the one in the book wielding a guitar on his back, because this is very clearly a guitar, right? Like that, you're not going to convince me that that's a lute. I mean, I guess maybe a yarding is supposed to have 6 strings, but that is a guitar, hands down. So they have 6-string guitars in Faerun. All right, this mini I hate. I'll be honest with you. This is a Muriel, which makes me think of Courage the Cowardly Dog, but Murial. It's basically a centaur scorpion person. So it's a scorpion body with like a little humanoid upper arms and head and neck area. Wields a great sword. It's found in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, I believe. I don't like him. And the color, that puke yellow, gross. Not a fan. But it does redeem itself, and then I get a flumph. I'm a lover of eccentric creatures, right? And ones that people typically don't like. So I love flumphs, and we got one in this, so I'm ecstatic. All right, so this guy, he is a veteran leader. So veteran is another type of NPC found in the back of the monster manual. And this is the leader. This would be a great rogue or ranger or fighter backup mini as well. And then we got the standard green grung. So you can see we have the yellow and the green variety. There's also a red variety. I think there's a gold variety too, possibly. But the standard are yellow, green, and red. So I've got 2 of them now. And you can see here, this guy's got, by the way, the veteran leader's that splash of green on his cloak. All right, so next, putting up the next box. I think this is Otto, I'm going to guess. Is Otto coming to this one? Yes. Okay, so this mini, what even is this mini? So this has to, again, be another Dungeon of the Mad Mage specific creature. So this reminds me of Figment from Disney World, or Disneyland. And it's the very purple and pink dragon. So it's very clearly got to be a fairy dragon, right? Fairy dragons are dragons with butterfly wings. These are very clearly butterfly wings. And fairy dragons grow in color, change color as they get older. They go through the colors of the rainbow. So youngest start at red, oldest are violet. And this is a purple or a violet one. But why he's large size, I don't know. Like, this is a pretty, I know it's purple and he's got butterfly wings, but this thing looks like it mess you up. So this must be another specific alteration similar to what Scaladar is, that's specifically contained within Dungeon of the Mad Mage. But again, I don't remember reading that in the stat block for the new monsters, because there really wasn't much of anything there. So who he is, or they are, I would love to get more information. Another Gnome Inquisitive, nothing to really see there. No difference. What's next here? After the Gnome Inquisitive. So Otto is probably my favorite, I'll be honest. It's a pretty sweet looking sculpt. Alright, so next up I have a shadow. Not a shadow demon, just a shadow. So this is the undead creature. Pretty nasty stuff to be attacked by. If they kill you, I think you come back as a shadow within an hour. And at least for small characters, they can definitely sit on the base of it, nice and neat. So you can have like the shadow sneaking up, coming out of someone. But it works okay, as you can see there, with a medium-sized creature as well. Fits on there, and it just has a cool effect. It's translucent, like grayish, gray or black. I like this mini. Pretty simple, but I do like it. Last for this was the Flesh Golem. This is another one where I hate the sculpt. I think it looks stupid. I feel like that was a waste of plastic, and I wish I could have gotten something else useful, like a duplicate of any of the other minis we had. Would have been a good substitute there. This may be the last box. I could be wrong, but I think this one, as I'm opening it right now, and I clearly, you can see I have an upset look on my face, and that's because this, if I recall, is a Minotaur Skeleton. Let's find out. Minotaur Skeleton. The mini is actually pretty cool, I'll be honest. You can see the separation kind of in the jaw, the blackness of where the kind of void of the inside space was, but I'm pretty sure I got a Minotaur Skeleton. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure I got a Minotaur Skeleton mini in the first set. I want to say it was Tyranny of Dragons was what it was called, right? For the kind of came out right alongside Rise of Tiamat and Horde of the Dragon Queen, and it had a bunch of minis in it, right? It had all the dragons, but the dragons were all large size bases for adult dragons, which is wrong. The giants were also very small, so they remade all of the giants. But I think I got the Minotaur Skeleton in that, so I was kind of upset to get something so blah. But I am curious why they started remaking minis that they've already made. For example, like I said, the... well, we're going to get to it actually in a second here. There's another one, but... By the way, I should say, before I start rambling again, this is a veteran. Again, we saw the veteran leader. This is the veteran from the back of the monster manual. But you see, this one's got a very flashy, like, blue cloak. So we've got another little splash of blue color here, giving somebody something to make them unique. Again, also works as a PC. And then, all right, so a Flind. The Flind, for those of you who don't know, this is in Volo's Guide to Monsters. A Flind is sort of an elite warrior of Yinagu, the prince of the Abyss, who is basically the lord of all gnolls, the devourer and all that. But I have a Flind from a previous set. It might have been Monster Menagerie 2, or it might have even been Out of the Abyss. But I have a Wizkids Flind from within the past 4 years. So I'm curious why they started to remake minis. Like I said, I have Intellect Devourers from Wizkids as well. Why are you remaking minis that you've made already? Did you forget? Or is it just an effort to give us more options of the same thing? Which I'm fine with. I just want to know why you did things in the way you did them. And here we have a wizard. This is an archmage. This is, again, another NPC contained in the back of the monster manual. But again, you can see he's got a lot of color too, right? He's got the green patterning, the red dots. He's got the bright blue cloak. He looks like the standard wizard that's found in the player's handbook under the wizard section. And if I recall, he's my last mini that I got out of all these sets. So I was pretty bummed. I didn't get a Behir. I didn't get a Death Tyrant, and those were who I really wanted, and I didn't get them. So that kind of sucks. But all in all, a decent haul of minis, and I super love Scaladar and Otto. They're probably two of my favorites of the large size. Flumph, hands down. Flumph and Flind, that'd be a funny sitcom. But the two smaller of the smaller variety. But I'm curious to see, did you guys get these, and what did you get? And I also am going to apologize now. I don't know what's up with the audio for this last little bit of the outro, because when I switched back off of not using this camera, it went back to one mic source, but it dropped my voice into super bass for some reason. So you'll have to deal with that, but I hope you guys like that, and let me know what you pulled. Anyway, guys, sorry about the random cuts when kind of working around the camera. I'm still getting used to this idea of using
An Elgato Cam Link, and an SLR camera. And obviously, you saw that this wasn't really clean HDMI out feed for this. So we had the green reticle in the middle, the red reticle, as the case may be. Excuse me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Based on this, are you going to go pick up your own set or a few boxes of Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage Wizkids Maze? I think this is a great set. This, in my mind, is up there with the Monster Menagerie sets, which usually do a good job of putting out a bunch of highly used monsters. Again, the ones that I got, with the exception of probably the Remerays and the Zombie Beholder, at least in my personal opinion, are the ones that would get the most use at my table. That's why I really wanted them here, because I like them, so I think they're super cool and just neat to have on the shelf. And obviously the Death Tyrant, because Death Tyrant. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what you pulled from your own boxes if you got them, and what your favorite mini that you pulled was.